Hello there. So you're probably wondering what the crap am I getting myself into? And I'm about to the point that I'm thinking the same thing. So for y'all that don't know, this is not a two-door. This is supposed to be a four-door, but I also had a extremely rusty two-door that I felt was not salvageable when I already have a two-door right over there. So I'm not just building a two-door because I wanted a two-door. So there's a lot that goes into making this a two-door as I've jumped into it. I got this car pretty cheap and I stared at it for probably 6 months in my yard, debating if I should be at this point right now. And I've decided to do it. So ultimately this car is pretty banged up. They just kind of caved and paved everything. So I'm going to have to uncave and then lightly pave over stuff. So I figured I'm going to have to go that far in. And then I was pushing a screwdriver into this rocker panel and it kept making more holes. So that's paper thin. I'm going to have to swap the rocker panel out. And if I'm going to do a lot of work to this instead of just a scuff and paint, a heavy scuff and paint, I might as well do this two-door thing. So naturally these cars came with this post in the middle. It's at about right here. And I'll catch y'all up on a overview of it. There was a post here. This mounted your other doors and swung. And with this door shut, it's about 8 to 10, maybe 12 inches too long. So I spent roughly around 3 hours taking the doors off, slowly trying to take this apart in hopes that this rocker panel was all one solid piece. I would imagine it would have been the same rocker panel. They only stamped one and then just modified it for whatever car it's going to go in. But you never really know. So once I got this off, it was the same. So that's a good thing. So throw that in there. I took all that apart. I need to finish cleaning up the rocker panel right there. Got this door mounted. I got it closing. So now I'm going to move on to the skin. So I already have a two-door quarter panel that's thinking I would just use the quarter panel of the two-door and just weld it in all the way. As I found out, this pillar is a couple inches wider than the coupe, so the quarter panel won't really work. So now I'm going to have to skin the door of the four-door, weld it in here, and then take the door jamb of the two-door and then splice it all together. Got to figure out the window mechanism and then figure out the inside because they didn't finish off the inside of the four-door like they do the two-door. So I'm going to try to finesse that to where I can use the two-door door panels front and back. Might make it a little easier in the future of finding parts and trying to keep it OEM per se and try to make this look like Chevy actually made it back in the factory days with my own little touch to it. So I'll walk you through some more steps. Cut the jamb apart of the quarter panel, then line it up, set my door gap, weld it in, and then start skinning the door. You should be caught up now. We'll keep going. Okay, so to cut this out, play overlay. Basically, I just took this 5/16 drill bit, and you can kind of feel on both sides where the spot welds are. They're roughly about 1/4 inch. So 5/16, so just go until I feel like I'm about to blow through the backside, and you just stop. And I've lost my putty knife, but I found this piece of scrap metal that worked pretty good. It's just about 70 thousandths, 60 thousandths, maybe 80 of steel. And I just hammer this down. And if you drill far enough or got in the right spot, it just pops right loose. This was spot weld on this side, and ultimately the inside brace was also spot welded that. So I got those down. This is going to be kind of tricky down here. Get that freed up. And then back here, I'm just going to slice it with like a Sawzall and around. They took a 90-degree piece of metal and just kind of welded it on both sides. I'm just going to cut straight down there and then make another piece to weld in instead of trying to drill all these spot welds out. Because I don't really know where this is going to go on the four-door. This is the same on it, but I might be this, I don't really know. I'm just going to cut it off and make a new piece. Same with this section, because I might not use this, but I think I might. I know I'm going to use from here forward, I think. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So I'm just going to save as much as I can. Maybe I'll have to make this piece new to match the 4-door, and then just have the headliner come down to this seam. I don't really know, but I'm just gonna cut it all out, get it out of my way off this panel, go from there. All right, so here's some of the structure I'm gonna put back in the post. Originally there was this little piece of metal, 90'd. Inside the little swoop and all that transition area was welded to the rocker. Instead, I made this little 90. I'm just gonna weld it this direction. Put a spot weld here, put a weld bead there. That should stiffen up in and out of the door jamb. And then maybe to another little tack up in there. And then that should lock this dude in good enough to where I can undo my rig and start welding the skin on. So to remove the skin off the door, all I did was take a grinder with a flat disc and just kind of hit the edge of the panel until you start seeing the little line from the edges separating. You just go around until you have that faint line all the way around, and it just pops right off. So now, a couple weeks have gone by. Other projects, stuff like that gets in the way. So in the meantime, I stripped the quarter panel and the front end down and repainted this door skin, just kind of cleaned up some stuff. So that's why it's pretty good time lapse here. So to put the panel on, it's just a lot of lining up. You have that one just fine body line that I kind of used along with that top edge. Just line up all those points best you can since you have the door gap set with the 2-door jamb. I just kind of lined all the points up. Took me a couple of shots just to get everything right, but got all that tacked on. So just like the previous part, there's a whole lot more time came by. I've moved the car in a different spot. Ended up having another project come through. If you go to Buddy Allen's channel with the ambulance, I'll post a link down. I've been messing with his Corvair and getting it all squared away. He's been posting a lot of stuff on it lately, so check it out. So here it sits so far. I didn't get any footage of the rocker panel replacement. It was just cut, and then took the front edge of this door that I cut off and then cut me a little section here. Welded it in. I still gotta finish welding everything and then do the inside. I just haven't got to that. Also, there's about a 1/4-inch gap down here. I'll have to fill that in. But everything so far is looking nice. I got a good gap all the way around. Door shuts. I can put the striker on there and actually have it latch. I just don't want to take a chance on this moving before I get the inner structure. So that about does it for this video. I feel like I made pretty good headway. It's taken me a little while to do it, but some progress better than no progress. So if you like this, just like, subscribe, and I'll just keep on trying to make videos like this. I'll see you next time.